Israel is intensifying its attacks on Gaza, with reports that more than 100 people have been killed in the past 24 hours. Israel's military has announced a major offensive, which it says is aimed at releasing the remaining hostages and destroying Hamas. The IDF says it's seizing strategic areas and advancing towards the central city of Deir al-Balah. It comes as the United Nations warns of ethnic cleansing. Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate ceasefire.
I am alarmed by reported plans by Israel to expand ground operations and more. And I emphasize that the United Nations will not participate in any so-called aid operation that does not adhere to international law and humanitarian principles of humanity, impartiality, independence and neutrality.
Our correspondent Rami Almeghari is in Gaza City for us now. Rami, what is the latest on the ground?
Actually, the latest is what you have just suggested, that the Israeli army is expanding its ground operations in different parts of the Gaza Strip. In the beginning, they incurred or further invaded parts of the Shija'iyya neighborhood in east of Gaza City, and then to the northern Gaza Strip, mainly in Beit Lahia, to the west of Beit Lahia, some parts of Jabalia refugee camp to the northwest, to the northeast of the town, and now they are doing some kind of invasion into Al-Jafarawi area to the east of the Deir al-Balah town in central Gaza Strip, after they had already invaded the Al-Qarara town to the north of Khan Yunis city, also to the south of Deir al-Balah itself. Now the situation is a situation of escalation, as the death toll is rising by minute or by hour, as the Israeli army is carrying out different kinds of operations across the Gaza Strip. Since the early dawn, the bombardments have been non-stop, actually, till the last hour. From time to time, we hear some bombardments in everywhere in Gaza City, to the east of Gaza City and northern Gaza Strip, and the people are just afraid of more escalation by Israel, beginning its operation that it has been announced earlier, the Gideon vehicles, or the good name of the operation Israel is planning to do with the transfer of all the Palestinians. Let me just here note, or give you a note about some leaflets that have been dropped by the Israeli army in some parts of the Gaza Strip, mainly in central Gaza Strip, where the leaflet reads actually that the Israeli army is coming. To you, the population of Gaza, the Israeli army is coming. These are warnings by the Israeli army by leaflets, and they are citing some Quranic verses from the holy book of the Quran. That is some kind of irony for the people, that they are coming to Gaza. That's what the statement or the leaflet says. Now the situation in terms of the humanitarian conditions, it's very difficult, with especially the medicines and the medical supplies that are very short in the territory, and the hospitals across the region are further unable to deal with the casualties that are flowing into the territory over the past 20 or 48 hours, with more escalation, more deaths and more injuries, and the hospital staffs here are not able to make the needed surgeries, except for the highly emergency conditions, the highly emergency cases among the wounded of that because of these Israeli operations across the area. So the upcoming hours might bear some kind of, or might witness some kind of a breakthrough, as reports suggest that Hamas has returned to the negotiation table in order to find a solution for this. This standoff with Israel is warning against a larger operation that would literally mean reoccupying whole parts of the Gaza Strip. Yes, please.
Rami, thank you very much. Rami Almeghari in Gaza City. Well, as Rami was just reporting, Israel and Hamas have returned to ceasefire talks after the start of the new IDF offensive. According to reports, our correspondent Jonathan Regev is in Tel Aviv for more on this now. So what more can you tell us about this, Jonathan?
Yes, so Paul, just about an hour and a half ago, the Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz, saying that exactly as Israel was preparing and making the final preparations for the implementation of the expanded military maneuver, that is when Hamas decided that it's time to go back to the table and negotiate. According to the Defense Minister, this, of course, has to do with the threat of the Israeli operation. Only because we, Israel, put this threat, said that the Defense Minister, Hamas is now back to the negotiating table. Is that true or not? Of course, anyone can have its own interpretation. The facts are, just as Israel was preparing and about 24 hours prior to the Security Cabinet meeting, which was meant to approve the expansion of the operation, the negotiations have resumed. Israel said all along the way that it will negotiate only according to the Witkoff plan. Hamas says that yes, the Witkoff plan is perhaps the general idea, but it's not exactly that, and there will be some amendments. And we'll have to wait probably a few hours, maybe a few days, to know if these negotiations bear fruits. As far as we know, Hamas is doing this with a new leadership, as Mohammed Sinwar, the man who was heading the military wing of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, may have been killed last week in an Israeli strike in Khan Yunis. So according to Israeli officials, at this time, we're at critical hours, either an agreement or an expansion of the war.
And Jonathan, there's a Security Cabinet meeting in Israel on Sunday. What's expected to come out of that?
Yes, so this Security Cabinet is expected tomorrow at 4 p.m. local time. That's exactly 23 hours from now. What's on the table? First and foremost, this expansion of the military operation. Up until this morning, it seemed as if it was a done deal, as if the cabinet tomorrow will approve the expansion. And as of tomorrow night, perhaps Monday morning, we shall see an advancement of ground troops. Now it may be delayed, cancelled, depending on the outcome of these negotiations now in Qatar. This will be the main issue. We have to remember Benjamin Netanyahu has his military agenda and also his political agenda. Even if he perhaps would want to give negotiations a chance and would even be able to make some concessions to Hamas, his cabinet strongly depends on far-right parties, and they oppose any concessions. They say that the only way to move forward is a military pressure on Hamas. Come tomorrow evening, we will perhaps have a clearer answer as to which direction Israel is going.